not admitted without parents or guardian.
The night of February 5th, 1976, George and Kathleen Lutz and their 3 children fled their home in Amityville, New York. The Lutzes escaped with their lives, but the previous owners weren't so lucky.
Who there?
What was in this house? Amityville II, The Possession. Amityville II, The Possession.
Good evening, fans of fantastic films, and welcome once again to the Drive-In Asylum double feature right here on a Saturday night at 8 p.m. As usual, I am so excited to see all of our friends to come hang out, talk to our fabulous guests, Joe Zaso and Bryan Thomas Norton. Welcome.
Welcome, everybody. Cheers. We're drinking our Amityville drinks and our Amityville fly straws and right, oh boy, yeah, we have school spirit. And I've never done this, and I'm looking at the people who are showing up, and we got Alan Bagg here. Alan Bagg was a star of Birdemic 1, 2, and 3. I'm like obsessed with it.
Welcome, Alan. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out. Lots to talk about. I know that Sam and I are obsessed with Amityville 2. We talk about it at least once every program, sometimes more.
Yeah, it comes up. It's the one that has a shelf life. There probably wouldn't be an Amityville book without Amityville 2, because that is the jewel in the crown. Yeah,
it's so R-rated, this movie. Oh boy, oh boy.
You mentioned that you had an origin story of Amityville 2, because I think we're probably the same age. Oh no, you're a little younger, but did it involve?
Yeah, I used to, when I was younger, I was very Catholic, and I used to get the Pittsburgh Catholic, and they always put the films that were rated O for morally offensive. And the movies that came out this year that were rated morally offensive are the greatest movies ever. Mm-hmm. And the one that was the highest on the list was Amityville Horror. And we actually had, during a sermon, one of the priests said, any good Catholic should not go see this movie. It is a horrible movie. And then immediately I was like, well, certainly this seems to be the movie for me to go see.
Oh, right. But actually, it's so pro-Catholic, in a way, it's like practically a recruitment video.
Except for the part where, spoiler, where they take the phone off the hook and go skiing instead of answering calls from them. My favorite part, they're like, let's go ski. And they hang up the phone.
What's interesting? The first movie was rated R. I was a little too young for it, but if you look at that movie, nothing would even be needed to be cut to be edited for television now. It's so innocuous in PG. And I think that was one of the things that shocked people when they went to go see Amityville 2, or when I got my mother to take me to see Amityville 2, because the first one was, well, it's fine, kids can watch it. And about 30 minutes into the movie, she grabbed my hand and said, we're leaving.
When my wife and I first started dating, we watched it. She said, this is, I didn't know she had seen it. She's like, this movie always seems weird to me because it seems like the brother and sister like each other. Then we watched it. She goes, oh, I was wrong. They totally do like each other. A lot.
My panties.
But I adore it because it's, well, obviously as an Italian director, but it feels like an Italian movie that was somehow made by an American studio. Like, it's got the budget, but it's like, it's totally fits into what else was happening in Italy at the time.
Pretty much is.
Yeah. I found a lot of connections. I was too young to pick up on all the Italian influences, but now I just see they had such a thing about incest back then.
Weird, they were ahead of their time, because that's all that's on the adult channels now. It's like all stepbrother, stepsister stuff. They were way ahead of their.
Yeah,
my people in Italy were ahead of their time.
I heard in Italy at that time, incest porn was was the top porn. It was like, all right.
One of the film historians, Eugenio Orcolini, he was telling us that I had some film scholars write chapters for the book on stuff that they knew about. So he mentioned all the Italian connections to the movie. Yeah,
It happens a lot. It happens the more Italian Gothics you watch. There's a lot where that happens too, where it's like brothers and sisters that didn't know they were brothers and sisters, and you know what I mean. It's just, I guess, ingrained in the culture, maybe.
Hot. Flight 51 to Rome.
Yeah.
And take it or leave it at this one, but I was a chairperson of New York Film Academy and a directing teacher for 15 years, and it's with students. I had a 16 millimeter print of Amityville 2, and if I show it, they would scoff at me. No one would show me. Worked at Tammany Hall, I could show whatever I wanted. Like, ugh. But then all it has to have is Tarantino give it a thing of approval and say it's one of the greatest sequels, and then suddenly everyone gets it.
Now it's art.
Yeah, now it's art.
See, obviously, the weird thing with this movie when it came out, it was like it was off the radar of everything. The first one, you saw ads everywhere at all times. I mean, billboards. This one, it was like, shush, and it's better than the first one, better in every way.
Yeah,
I always find the first when I saw the first one on HBO as a kid, I was like, this is not exciting. Like, do you know what I mean? Because I've been watching so much horror. It's like, this is very normal.
It's all bullshit, and nobody dies in it. Okay, that's bullshit.
Do you ever think it was weird that Rod Steiger shares no scenes with them? We're supposed to just take this line of dialogue that they're really good friends of the family or whatever, and the whole crux of the movie is that he can't reach them, only he's like a few blocks away. I don't know, but he's the only one that Amityville does anything bad to. I mean, he just goes blind and is out of the picture. I don't know. So, but that one is getting another deluxe Blu-ray release too. So, but the thing I didn't realize also is because of my age is that in adjusted dollars, that movie was so huge that it couldn't have been just horror fans going to see it. That was like Marvel money. Like everyone had to have been seeing it. Like even like moms and dads and people who were talking about it at work. I mean, for it to make that kind of money back when movies played on one screen, they didn't play. Yeah.
Well, the book was so huge that anything that had to do with the Amityville horror was going to be a big hit. Probably. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Was that Scholastic magazine?
Scholastic magazine.
They actually was on their list. It's like,
yeah. I remember people talking about it at school when I was like 7 years old.
It was on news programs and stuff too. Like it wasn't, do you know what I mean? It was treated like an actual thing that was happening.
But that's Samuel Arkoff, though. A penny pincher. But he knew about Ballyhoo, and I actually wrote this in my introduction, because Amityville 1, they were on every talk show, the Lutzes, whatever, and then Amityville 2 just kind of sloped onto movie screens. No movie stars to promote it on TV. Nothing. It just kind of appeared. No countdown ads. It was very, very, very strange. Like, did they even try? Or, the movie did okay, but certainly not like the other movies. But there was no big build up to it or anything. So
Amityville Horror was number 2 movie of 1979. And Superman was number 1, and you think Margot Kidder would have been,
well, technically Superman is 78, so Margot Kidder,
well, they came out of it. But either way, still, you think, that we at least get half of it. It's like not even. I mean, Grease 2 had more than that.
I think Margot Kidder was my dad's hall pass. So like anytime she would come up, my mom would get very upset. So and hers was what's his name from Dracula.
Gary Oldman.
No, not from
Frank Langella.
Frank Langella. So that could have been my step parents. But what hot step parents I would have had? Frank Langella and Margot Kidder. I would have been.
How long I've been working on this book. I mean, and this book was an offer from a wonderful publisher named Bear Manor Media, who does these nerdy hardcover film books on like, who would buy them other than me? I'm still in shock. Like, the making of Sheena, Queen of the Jungle. I have to have this in hardcover, So we went back and forth about different movies and what hadn't been done. And so Amityville, I love Amityville. It's not necessarily the hill I wanted to die on, but I'm having a senior moment here. What was I saying right beforehand?
We're both
you weren't listening here. Yeah, I've been working on this so long. My first interview was Margot Kidder the day before she passed.
Wow.
Oh wow.
I didn't have anything to do with it. But yeah. And you know what? I got her to lighten up a little bit about the movie because she was doing her whole shtick on, oh, what a piece of shit and everything. And then she ended up turning it into like, you know what? I've done these conventions and I'm realizing it's an important movie to a lot of people. And I get a lot of Amityville stuff. And you know, it's an effective chiller. That's what you said.
Wow.
Yeah, we should get this out in the open. Now, I don't think we've actually addressed it. You are writing a book about the making of the Amityville horror films. And
yes. It's called For God's Sakes, Get Out, Amityville at the Movies. And I promise it's not going to be a boring, like, let's unpack the text of what Amityville is really about. No, it's not going to, my film brethren are all writing these books. It's like a college essay. Have you noticed that Blu-ray commentaries on something amazing like Eyes of a Stranger is like, and the woman empowerment, it's just like they suck all the fun out of it. And it's a movie made with hate, you know, it's a misogynist movie, but they're, you know, trying to put like a college essay into it. So I don't know. Yeah. But
I prefer the lowbrow sort of comments.
Yeah.
You should hear our commentaries where I always ask Bill which guys are hot, which guys he's.
Oh wait,
I always know who it is too.
Isn't there like a triptych, like fuck, marry, or
Mary, fuck, kill?
Mary, fuck,
yeah.
Sorry, someone had that ready to go.
It's not like I play that all the time.
Hold on.
So, Joe, you're originally from the Long Island area.
Yes, I am. You can't tell by the
and you drive by the house.
Oh yeah.
I was near Amityville. I was more northwest of it, but about an hour away. But yeah, I've seen the house, and it's not that great an area. I have to say, everyone goes on about, you know, it's this beautiful. I mean, that street is in this water, but it's not that great. You know,
I've been there too.
Amityville, it's like, no, it's kind of crappy. No offense to Amityville, but it is.
I went to a club there called Revolutions.
Don't blast me, Grease 2. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, I love Grease 2.
Yeah, Justin Lockwood was offended about Grease 2 remarks.
Oh, don't be. I'm not.
But yeah, I've been there, and the house is really nondescript. The club was only like 2 blocks away from the house, so like I was able to drive by there and park in front of it, and probably long enough to alarm the people that lived there. And you know, there really is nothing noticeable about it because those iconic windows face the back of the house. So
they were in the front, but they took them out.
Oh, okay.
They took them out and put square windows there, but they have an amazing Halloween display every year. So
they're asking for it.
Do you know they blurred it out on Google Images?
If you look up the address, it's just, and they changed the number of the street and all those things, and you know, it is.
So this the reason to do this book is I have been gifted with so many never before seen pictures from either the making of it or behind the scenes. And I mean, even if I didn't write a word and just posted those out, it's absolutely amazing. Martha De Laurentiis became a friend. She was, you know, she produced a lot of really cool movies in the 80s, like Firestarter and all that stuff. But I think other people knew her now. She died last year, but from Hannibal. And my friend Bryan Fuller is the showrunner on Hannibal, and he hooked me up with her because Amityville 2 was her first movie, and then she did Amityville 3. And so she had all her minions come up with hundreds of pictures from the files, and like actors like Candy Clark sent me a whole bunch of Polaroids, and Diane Franklin, and it's people sent their call sheets, and just so it's going to be a neat scrapbook.
I can't believe you got Polaroids from Candy Clark. I'm so
yes.
Oh yes,
I got Polaroids from Candy Clark, and they're hilarious because it was shot in Mexico City, and it's a very chilly fall movie, Amityville 3, and everyone is just in bathing suits, like caipirinha, like all in the back, and like having a party by the pool and stuff like that.
Well, they were filming Dune everywhere else in that city that season. It was incredible. And Amityville 3 had this tiny little studio because everything else was used up. And the people from Amityville 3 on their days off would go to see the shooting of Dune.
Joe knows all this stuff because one thing you should know about Joe is he is this amazing typist where he can actually type faster than I could talk. So it's I have these like 4-hour sometimes interviews with people prattling on, usually me. So this is why he knows everything. And all interviews start off the same way. Oh, the movie was 40-something years ago. I'm not going to remember anything. And then they don't shut up.
Yeah, then suddenly it all comes flooding back.
Yeah.
And let me say,
Chip worked on the book too, right? Chip Landry.
Oh yeah, Chip. Listen. Oh my God, Chip. So this book is less about my text and more about how it's going to look. And I've never done a book before, and I don't think Chip has either. And we're doing it all the wrong way. I think you're supposed to like write the book, and then it's edited, and then you choose the pictures after. But we're writing it around the pictures. So as I write, he goes and designs them, and we're going that way. So it's completely fucked up and wrong. And I don't know how many deep into it, but I'm not allowed to show these pictures to some of them. But these are like the 2-page spread things, and it's gonna be really, really gorgeous. Hey, where's a good one? Hold on.
Ooh, look at this sneak peek we're getting. We can almost read the text.
That's our cover.
Okay. Oh, this is interesting. You recognize these gals?
Oh yes.
Oh, this is all about the Italian possession movie connection. Yeah. So I even have a chapter on the dog, Harry.
I think I saw an image from House of Exorcism there.
Oh yes, you did. Elkie.
I want Harry.
But Harry the dog, he was in Salem's Lot. He was in Eyewitness. So he got around.
Show dog. Probably better treatment than everyone else.
Yeah.
And Joe, you are editing the book, correct?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Yes. And helping me hunt down people. I mean, it's got to be probably 300. Just about everyone who is alive. Actually, so many people have died since we started this. My dedication.
The best has to be when he goes like, Joe, you've got to find me this one. All right, I'll find this one. All right, I'll find this one. And guess what? We find them. Yeah. And one of the most interesting should be Natasha.
Yes.
Yes.
Little Natasha Ryan. You guys are genre fans. You remember Natasha? She was in like every scary movie ever. She's in Kingdom of the Spiders. She's in Amityville, Entity. But she had dropped off the face of the planet, and no one could find her. And
wow.
And it was just a random thing. I think Joe left messages and no response. But anyway, I was all Adderalled out, and I like saw her number, like, let me call, and she answered the phone, like, what? And I'm like, she's about to hang up on me. But anyway, now we're besties and we talk all the time. So she's got some dirt. She doesn't hold back. The C word about Barbara Hershey on the Entity.
Oh my! That's juicy. That's the kind of juice we're looking for.
There's some stories that people told. I'm like, am I allowed to print this? So I'm kind of having this like dilemma. Like, whoa, okay, let's do it. Jennifer Jason Leigh, having a secret affair with Harvey Weinstein, doing Amityville so she can get to do Hateful Eight. They were fucking.
Oh wow!
No, cut my ears off. I've heard it all.
Now, when did you discover Amityville 2?
That's more Sam's question.
Yeah.
No, that's like I said. It was from reading it in the Pittsburgh Catholic as a kid, and then being obsessed.
We already talked about that on the
and waiting to see it on HBO. Yeah. And because there was no way my parents were going to take me to see it, being good Catholics, so I had to do like read the HBO guide to when was it on at 3:25 a.m. and then sneak downstairs and watch it.
Yeah,
it was a rental for me.
Yeah,
and a VHS rental back in the day. And I don't know, like I really was not interested in it, to be honest. I didn't care about Amityville 2 because I hated the original movie. I
Right.
watched it and I was like, oh, this is boring. It's just going to
Boring.
be more of the same shit. Little did I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Overlit.
This one's got something to offend everybody. So, and just even more so now. But there are all these legends about things that had to be cut. It's almost like the Mandela effect, because so many people have ended up like talking to Britannia Alda or Burt Young and saying like, oh, did you know the big sex scene, the rape scene was cut out because of the ratings board and all that, and that's been passed around or whatever. And Martha De Laurentiis said, test screenings, yeah, okay. They cut it out because test screenings, they cut it out because it was just too redundant. Like, we already established that Burt Young is an asshole. We can't do it in every scene. So, but his infamous rape scene is very, very innocuous in the way that it was shot. It says he anally rapes her, which makes us think of stuff, but it's like an under the covers thing, and he's just behind her, and you hear like, ooh, so that kind of stuff.
I think I did watch it on HBO. Now that Jared mentioned HBO, that might have been the first place I saw it. But like I said, I wasn't really interested in it, and I'd seen pictures in Fangoria of the demon makeup, and that's what I was waiting for. So I think I just kind of like passed over all the other stuff, and like, who cares about the incest? I want to see the monster. But then, years later, I watched it again, and I was like, ew, this is really scary, like in a different kind of way.
Yeah, it does take a disastrous turn, though. I mean, once the family's killed, it turns. I
think that's where it should have ended.
It turns into a courtroom drama.
Yeah,
and then an Exorcist clone or whatever. But like even Tarantino said, he doesn't give a shit about James Olsen and trying to exorcise the kid and the jailbreak and all that. He said, no,
it almost seems like
it's all about the family. So
I think we all remember, as you'll see, the scene with everyone that traumatized everybody. As soon as you see the clouds getting
the night that everyone's getting killed.
Night, that's just to this stage. Like, oh God, it's gonna happen, and it's just it's just like you dread it, and that's one of the best horror scenes ever. Just that feeling, it's gonna be an ugly long scene, and it's
Damiano could have done one of those non-linear editing things and put the murders at near the end of the movie, which would have been a better idea, maybe.
Yes.
I don't know, because it's like you said, that is the climax of the film, and it happens way before the end of the movie. So I don't know. Maybe that's what put me off of it.
Yeah, no, I understand. When I saw it in the theater with Mom, we didn't even get to that part. Ironically, it's the scene that is the ripcord for a lot of people, especially a lot of parents, is a relatively tame one. I don't know if you remember this, but this random scene where the little boy goes into the kitchen to get a glass of water, and his sister puts a plastic bag on his head and says, "You're dead." And he's mock suffocating him. And it's a moment that doesn't mean anything, and they go on to the next scene. But that was the moment, like, that's it. We're leaving.
The destruction of the nuclear family.
Yeah, right.
The Italians.
It's practically. it's practically. No, well, they say, Amityville is a nice family that is torn apart. This one, the family is already torn apart. So.
I often wondered, did they put them out of their misery? I mean, do they really have a future? In some ways, that's my one theory. But
so everyone on here who it's this works that we talk for a little while, then the movie plays, right? And then but that we all know Burt Young recently passed away, and he's this is one of his rare lead roles, Tanya Alda says that he got kind of special treatment because he had an Oscar nomination for Rocky, so he got a better hotel and everything. But his stories were amazing, but also the greatest thing ever, that's something I saw in Fangoria, and it's just amazed me, this full head of him, like a prosthetic head that was going to explode in close up for when he gets killed. And the effects guys told me that the footage is so amazing, it was like better than scanners, and it's cut out of the movie in a very strange way. Even the music cuts, it's like this glaring sort of jump cut, like it was taken out at the last minute. But I would kill to see that. So yeah, shot in the face.
Wow.
It was, yeah, you'll see. I mean, I don't want to give away, but yeah, it's just it looks so something's not right.
Yeah.
By the way, Chip Landry, I agree. The music to Amityville 2 is better than Part 1. Part 1's okay, it's spooky, but the second one has dread, and yeah, I'm a soundtrack fan.
Do you think that some of it has to do with the fact that they never released the soundtrack and just the fact that it's unavailable means like
could be, but it's but it's just it's a more disturbing version of the first one. It's the same cues, but it's the only thing I don't like is some of the Omen-esque things because it sounds kind of cheesy. But other than that, the rest is just fantastic. So
hey, Shirley Jelinas,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, hey, yeah, Lalo Schifrin told some good stories about that. He said it was a new company, new producers, and he wasn't allowed to use the exact theme from the first movie. So but if we look at how many movies he did that year, I mean, like he did like 30, so he was like shitting them out, whatever.
Was the Seduction that year?
But I think The Sting 2 was that year. That's what he got his Oscar nomination for. Mac Davis in a lead role. So,
Britannia Alda is an underrated scream queen, David.
Oh, she's a doll. I love her.
She survived Joan Crawford. Her kids get killed in so many movies. It's like,
every time she's in a movie, no matter what, Rosemary's Baby, even she helped deliver Rocky Balboa's baby, and there was a problem. I mean,
no, When a Stranger Calls.
When a Stranger Calls.
Vigilante, her children are murdered.
And what was it? The Christmas one?
Christmas Evil.
Christmas Evil. Something was happening. It's like every mommy dearest, all of them, and something happens to kids around her, and she's a doll in real life. So I mean, I don't get it.
One of the consensus though is that it did nothing for anybody's career, which is just fascinating. They said Amityville just did a whole lot of nothing. The lead guy was working in a bar across the street the night that it opened. No one interviewed him, nothing. And it was like they I don't know. It was just straight. Even the one of the best interviews is the stage mother of the two children.
Oh, Magda Katz. Oh, yeah. I love
because the two children don't care to talk about it, but she knows everything. And she was like a stage mother, like pushing, like trying to get some publicity going. And she
was so entertaining to listen to. She was a wealth of information.
Did nothing for their career. And we were in Mexico. Oh, that food is disgusting. So we kept coming back to New York every weekend to do what kind of food did they want?
They were, I think they're like Hungarian.
Yeah.
Let me tell you right off the bat, we don't like Mexican food and we don't like Italian food. Yeah. We like, and then apparently the production had a limo take them to the Hungarian restaurant of their choice every night. But she also, I won't tell you more, but she, little Erica Katz was also in Dressed to Kill as the little knowing girl in the elevator. And she told me all these things about Angie Dickinson in the holding room. All this is so interesting. I'm like, this is so cool.
Angie Dickinson was crying because she was going through a divorce with Burt Bacharach.
Yeah, it's like wow. It's like it's more fun than any of these.
She had some great behind the scenes Polaroids of stuff that was shot, obviously, but not in the movie.
Like call sheets. I mean. I was like, wow, wow. And she was just an entertaining New York type with the way she was describing everything. It was just fun, So, and even one of the Michael Menzies.
Oh, yes. He was a recommendation, but he was a spy for Orion Pictures where he'd like go onto the set to make sure everything was working, and but Amityville 2 or something. He kept a daily journal, and he's like Noel Coward. He's like this pickled old bitch. He's like, raw.
Forgive me if he's British or New Zealander, but he just has a beautiful accent. But the thing is, hearing his voice and just hearing his stories, it's just like that's a book in itself. And
but writing every day about which actor or crew member got arrested and had to be bailed out of a Mexican jail, or just like. Who's fucking who? And
somebody said about no. But it's good.
That's the people that are really what they're really looking for anyway. So talk more about that stuff.
Yeah.
The Mexican jail stuff.
Oh yeah, the teenage boys on Amityville 3. They got some. Oh my god! How did they grow up so fast? So, now, of course, the holdout. I actually did get an interview with her, but then this college admission thing happened with Lori Loughlin, and suddenly my interview was kaput. So,
that's why someone cursed Lori Loughlin in the chat.
You can get your interview if you tap on the glass and she
Yes.
also picks up the phone and goes, "Oh, hi."
Now, do you remember Tony Roberts from like a lot of the Woody Allen movies? Yeah.
Yeah.
But everyone told me like the legend that someone came to him with an Amityville 3D poster after a Broadway show, and he's like, "Get that away from me." So I just assumed he hated it, and he just talked and talked and talked, but he was such a like a dirty old man in a funny way. Like, oh, that girl playing my daughter was so hot. She was so hot. You know? Candy Clark was so hot.
It's like give it a few years and they're more willing to talk about things. You know, they're funny, but it gets you James Brolin. You had so 2 hours more.
Yeah, I've told this story. I didn't think we were gonna get James Brolin, and his agent said I could have 15 minutes, and he was gonna call me, and we talked for 4 hours.
Wow.
And then he like called me the next day, and then his brother called. I think he's like held prisoner in his house and not allowed to talk because it's all being recorded on my thing. And at one point, the phone picks up and it's Barbara Streisand. She's like, "Jim, what are you doing? Like, where are you?" He's like, "I'm in the backyard. I'm doing an interview about what? Amityville. It's like, I've never seen it. What's it about?" And like, it's just going on and on. Like, where'd you put the cheese? So,
Wow.
Like, no, you didn't.
and thank God he had
Window into another world you had there.
he had a sense of humor enough where when she hung up, I said, "That bitch." You know? So yeah,
I'm surprised they still have a landline.
I was
My God.
I was invited to do that interview to their place. It was like I don't know, it was crazy. But you had to stop some of these people from telling the same moldy old stories they've told a million times. Like James Brolin has told the same story. Like, I was reading the script in the Hotel des Artistes, and my pants fell off a ladder. I'm like, I got to do this movie. And they're like, Jim, forget it. We're not going to talk about that. So
You know, one of the most cheerful, lively people is Diane Franklin. I mean, she was enthusiastic to talk about it, but she was so full of energy, and she was also just full of stories and just intrigue. But she's just delightful. She's a sunny person. So where we
She's
are,
just
Diane,
got to be awesome. There's no way she could not be awesome.
I did call her out though, because I remember when she wouldn't talk about Amityville too. Next question, pass the popcorn. I still remember those things, but now it's like the film, the work of art. It's about people and the character, and it's just like suddenly it's whatever. People can be told.
I don't know if you feel this way, like having talked to a lot of actors, and that you have. I haven't talked to as many, but there is sort of like this shift in attitude now about horror movies and about exploitation films, whereas they didn't want to talk about it before because it was distasteful and people didn't like it, but now it's commercial. And do you think it's because they realize now that there's like this whole convention circuit out there where they can go and talk to people and make money off of that?
A lot of it is just that they still haven't like embraced the movie or rediscovered it, but it's just like, oh, people remember this, so I can go and talk to. There's a lot of that, but also with people like Diane and other people, especially with Amityville 2, it's the Tarantino thing. When he came out a couple of years ago and praised Part 2, suddenly it was like, wait a minute, can I die out in this? I'm in a good movie. Oh, so that really gave it a boost.
You know, I think it's interesting. Last year, the MoMA had this 2-month retro on all horror movies, and it was sponsored by Chanel of all people. And it's like all these people are the ones who usually think horror is very declassé. I mean, just usually, and it's just incredible. It's like, I guess there is something to be said about horror. It's not exactly,
but
dismissive.
The other thing I'm learning is, here I am obsessed with Amityville since I was a kid, but for the actors and the crew, it was a gig. It was a sweet gig and a blip on their radar, and they go on to another movie right away. So, and a lot of them didn't know, like, oh, people still watch this movie or talk about it.
That's got to be weird because a lot of them didn't even work on. I'm talking about movies way lower budget than Amityville 2.
Yeah.
Like they only worked on them for 5 days, 6 days maybe, and then suddenly, like 40, 50 years later, someone wants to ask them questions about this.
Give me an example. What are you talking about?
It's got to seem really weird. Well, one of my top people that I wanted for Drive-In Asylum when I first started publishing it was Linda Gillen. She's an actor who appeared in a lot of things. She was in Windows. We were talking about Windows earlier. She's the female detective in Windows, and she has some great stories about being on the set of Windows, which she wasn't for very long. But anyway, she's in a movie that I love called Terror House. The folks at Red Wolf Inn. There are numerous titles.
I know that one. Yeah.
Well, I was obsessed with that movie when I was a kid, and it was really hard to find her in other things or to find out things about her. And she was one of the reasons that I wanted to start looking for people who were in obscure-ish type films to star in. And this is what I've encountered over and over again, is how, they're like, this was a long time ago, but it's like you said, once they start talking about it, stuff starts coming back to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Subconscious opens up.
I have seemed to amass many friends who are that type of actor, who they appeared in some sort of genre thing that they didn't even put on their resume, and that's what we became friends over. So I don't know. So,
it's always the genre people
concerned with their careers. That was it. Just do this and go on to that's it. If they weren't, seeing the whole picture, they just go to the next.
And they probably didn't make much money off of it either.
Amityville II didn't even have like a wrap party screening. It didn't even have anything. Britannia said it was playing in 3 theaters in New York City in Times Square area, and she couldn't even get her agent to go see it.
My movies have bigger premieres, and that's saying a lot.
Oh yeah. So Joe, I mean, this is the banner year for you because what's the Lost in the 80s thing, right? And I was
Speaking of,
oh, bam!
There it is. I have this just came out from Paravision, right, Joe? This is Joe's box set of your 80s films.
My teen years,
and that's from a company that releases like real movies and stuff. So
and soundtracks galore, like big ones, like and they use a lot of audio tapes and LPs, but that's Terrorvision.
Yes,
but I still can't believe that there's this interest in
these movies he made when he was a kid. So
they were important to me then, and I kind of
You want to hear something interesting? I met Joe at Monster Mania Chiller.
I think it was Chiller.
Chiller.
Yes.
I had just done a movie with Betsy Palmer called Penny Dreadful before the show, and I was there with that, and Joe was there, and I spent $10 on Joe's autograph.
Far out.
$10.
Well, it's actually, I met Joe's. I emailed you about Scream Book 1 and 2 because I had just watched them, and I wanted to talk to you about them. You're like, do you know that these are coming out? Is this why you're sending me something? I'm like, no, I had no idea.
Wow.
I just
talk about them. It's like, what?
Yeah.
No one talked about it, honest.
I agree. I'm still astonished that when people say things like one person wrote recently, Scream Book 2 wasn't as good as Scream Book 1. I'm like, why are you watching in the movie? I mean, I'm amazed, but it's just like,
Dude, you made these movies. That's what's so fantastic about it, is that like you had very limited resources and you put something together and it was interesting, and people still are interested in how many years later. That's an accomplishment.
40.
Well, there is something that makes me a little verklempt when I see it. All the support he had with his family. Like I couldn't get. My mother would yell if I made too much noise crossing the kitchen floor. And he could get 40 relatives to come over and all play like cult members, like get the shells, or whatever.
I'm amazed. It seems like you had a very support. You had a very supportive family, but there's that one party scene in the movie where the family treats each other so horribly. Like there's like gunplay and stuff.
What was going through my head?
There's like people pulling guns on kids and stuff. Yeah.
Joe refused to believe that he has a Long Island accent. I mean,
ask me to say anything else.
No. See, now you're
Amityville II, The Possession.
Now you're doing an affected voice.
I'm not.
Every now it slips, like that piece of shit.
I'm gonna read this thing. 5 years ago, the Lutz family fled this house.
You're doing an affected voice.
That's not affected. That's me.
We have to catch you off guard to hear your accent.
Well, and that show, I mean, his movies, that's where all the families were talking. And
I was watching them again. It's like, oh boy, it was like being beaten in the face with Long Island accents. Like everybody.
I'm from Rhode Island. We have some wicked accents back there too. So.
Hey, let's look at some newsprint ads, shall we?
Yes.
From Amityville II's ad campaign. it really did not have a lot of interesting
No, and
ads.
that's a still from the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they never used that viewpoint in Amityville 2 from the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just too much text. I mean, a lot, especially the '70s posters, all have that too.
Well, no, this one doesn't. There is one that has this whole preamble, like way too much to read. So
Yeah, this is actually an abbreviated version of it because they really did get kind of wordy, I think. But that's all you needed was a picture of the house. I mean, they weren't making high art here. You could tell that that's not where they were coming from. It's very exploitation. This was distributed by Orion. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Orion was AIP, American International, sort of morphed into Filmways, which morphed into Orion, and Oh, this is the British one where I hate the roof.
Amityville 11.
Yeah, what the hell kind of house is that?
I like the Italian Amityville Possession.
Oh, this like Turkish one was just hilarious.
Oh,
it's got pictures of like
yeah.
Lee Purcell holding an ice cream cone or something.
Rated X for extraordinary.
No, Poltergeist rated
From the '70s, said rated R for righteous.
But you remember in the TV guide or whatever HBO guide, it said rated R contains graphic violence, sexual situations, nudity, incest. It's like I have to see this movie.
Bring it on. Now it's smoking, rude language.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like oh, now everything.
Whoa.
This is amazing. Just like
Whitestone, as in Queens.
Yeah.
Redeemer.
Okay, right. That was also Class Reunion Massacre. Yeah.
Yep.
But,
yeah, and just to see this movie showing with "Don't Look in the Basement" warms my heart.
Yeah.
Was another that was distributed by AIP as well.
Oh yeah, that was a pickup, I bet, right?
Yeah.
I found that movie more endearing than gruesome. I just think it's just got a sweetness about it. You know, it's like just like the movie "He Knows You're Alone," made by our good friend Armand Mastriani. I mean, it's a slasher movie, but there's something about it that's so sweet at the same time. I don't get it, but some movies just do that.
Blood Tide is amazing. You see a monster in it for like 5 seconds.
Oh my god!
Maybe not even that long.
The girl from Too Close for
Lydia.
Comfort.
Lydia.
Yeah.
Wasn't shot in Greece, I think?
Yeah, or something. Deborah Shelton.
Funeral! Yay!
Funeral Home makes me excited.
Now, do you remember? I'm sorry, Deborah Shelton in the movie Body Double.
Yes, of course.
Now, there is an interesting Amityville connection there because I recently interviewed Helen Shaver, who's got one of the leads in Amityville, and Helen dubbed Deborah Shelton's voice in Body Double. That is Helen Shaver's voice.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Middle-Aged Crazy. I remember that one. Yes, Funeral Home with our friend Leslie Donaldson. And it turns out some company just found the original negative, so we don't have to see those horrible, horrible dark prints. I'm so happy.
Are all Canadian movies blurry on purpose, or is that just the
Oh no, they used the filtration to make.
What's we got here?
Oh, Concrete Jungle with Jill St. John. Do you remember that one? The women's prison movie with Tracy Bregman is the Linda Blair in that one.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So is Lady Chatterley's lover.
Canon.
Well, I like that how they spell that. Also enjoy that. Like, there's one classy movie. Well, two. There's like E.T. and An Officer and Gentleman. Everything else is genre in that theater.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes, Leslie. I mean, Eric wrote Leslie. He was there when we finally got to meet her. She had no idea that people remembered her or her movies and what.
I reached out to her to be in Drive-In Asylum, and I never heard back from her.
Oh,
keep trying.
We'll work on that.
She probably didn't see it. It was just on her Facebook page, I think.
I do like the bluish tint that they used on the poster, and actually that's what we went with for the book cover. This is just a standee. We made one in red, but the book cover, and this is the other thing. For me to use this picture, which is on the internet everywhere. It's not just can. It's like there's all this like legal stuff, and oh my god. So, this cover is everywhere, but we wanted to keep it simple. But yeah, even this has to be properly vetted and errors and omissions insurance. So it's like making a fucking movie, you know. So sorry.
Everybody wants to pound the flesh, so to speak.
The pirate movie.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I like pretty much everything.
That's the movie with dueling perms.
It's not as bad as Pirates, though, which is way worse.
Yeah.
I do agree Pirates is worse, but the pirate movie.
Carl.
Whoa.
I just had to show this. This has nothing to do with Amityville 2, but I pulled this out of the newspaper and almost fainted.
Hey, Lou, Rom.
I remember she could it's his leg. It's his leg. There's Lynn. You guys points.
House of Torture is something that I was just talking about. It's a retitle of something, and it doesn't really make any sense that it would be called House of Torture. But They're Coming to Get You is All the Colors of the Dark.
Yeah.
Independent International did that one, Bill. That's
when there would be an abrupt edit, and you could do a black card of the title, the new title.
Yeah, it's like Torso. The original title is Bodies Bear Traces of Carnal Violence.
Here's the last one. I thought this was for Sam.
Set down. Love it. How they've never seen Brimstone Tree? I should.
Oh, that's a great movie. I love it.
If you really pay attention, Amityville 2 and Ragtime have so many things in common because they were being they're both Dino De Laurentiis movies being done one after the other. So he just took everyone from Ragtime and put them in Amityville. So
I thought you were going to say they played double features together because I would go see that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone went to go see Ragtime though, unfortunately.
I think that came out on fun fact, that movie came out on my 11th birthday, and none of the horror movies were playing. Like Halloween 2 was gone, all those things were gone. My mom took me to see Demonoid, Messenger of Death. I know, with a packed theater full of pot-smoking teens. And there I am, 11, and
I can't believe that played in the theater.
Because the only thing, I was supposed to see Halloween 2, that was gone. Then they had Friday the 13th 1 and 2, and that was gone because only 1 week only. So then we're down to Ragtime, Paternity, or Demonoid, Messenger of Death.
The right pick.
We speak Demonoid here.
The one that's about a severed hand that goes after Samantha Eggar.
Samantha Eggar.
Someone asked her about that, and she was like, "Is that the one with the hand?" You know.
There are 37 costume changes, which I think is why she did the movie.
She has so many. I want to believe that those are all her clothes, and she's like, "I bought these all for this."
When we say bungalow, that's she loves that word.
Bungalow 17. It's so degrading though that she has to wrestle with this thing that's obviously not doing it. We forgot the motor. Just wrestle with it. You know?
She did more degrading things in her career too.
She's not a fan of curtains. She shuts that down.
In The Brood, she said, she said she was at first, and then apparently she said bad stuff.
Oh, whatever.
I think that's probably the most degrading thing she ever did on camera was eating her own afterbirth.
That was like the Fangoria thing, you know.
Yeah.
I like the movie very much. But,
so are some of these people on the list here, are they just your admirers that they come to your screenings or what?
They just follow us home. No, these are all of our friends that come and hang out with us and watch movies with us.
Where are the women at? I mean, there's
lots of ladies in the chat. Hell yeah. Pamela Coleman, Lee Newsom. And by the way, Mandy Fallon, happy birthday. Today is Mandy Fallon's birthday. And last weekend was John Stryker's birthday. And I forgot to say happy birthday.
John Stryker?
Stryker?
Yeah. Because that's the name of the director within
happy
the movie
birthday.
Curtains. Jonathan Stryker.
Jonathan Stryker.
So you're Pittsburghian friend?
Oh, yeah, you're in Pittsburgh. Yes.
I still can't believe you said that they're so territorial about pizza. You said the pizzeria owners are like cutthroat. Yeah, look at that. It's true they will kill each other.
People will fight with you if you don't like a certain pizza here. And it's all different.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife has a certain one that she won't go to other places. She'll only go to one. So yeah.
And they'll kill each other with the secret recipe and forget it. It's
So is it
There's actually 2 in Squirrel Hill that opened up literally next to each other, like Aiello's and Minio's. someone worked at one of the other ones, said quit and moved like a block over and said, "I'll start my own." They're the same, very nearly the same pizza, and like people will fight you like this one's better. Like, are they?
Is it
But,
still George Romero land there? I mean, it is.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
People come here all the time and look and go to the locations of the films. So
I was his daughter's film teacher, and then like a year later, I was in an elevator at the Venetian Hotel in Vegas, and the door opened, and he came in, and I mentioned that I was a teacher. Oh, good school. He was like 8 feet tall. He was like the tallest guy I've ever seen in my life. Good school. That was it.
Was he smoking?
No, it was in an elevator, so. It was just me hobnobbing with the stars.
I still have to get my Pittsburgh tour. If I ever get myself over there, I expect to be driven around. So.
You will be when you come
We'll
here.
take you to
Joe
all
Sasso.
the pizza places. Get ready. You'll have to work out every day.
I would love that.
So do you guys do the conventions, or do you have a booth or anything set up?
No,
Yeah.
we've never done conventions.
Okay.
It's a future plan.
Oh, okay.
If you do, Monster Mania is the one to do. They're very good people. My favorite.
Oh, well, we just did one, and it was ridiculous because he had these banners made, and this is banner, which is like the size of a billboard, like Bryan Norton, author of this book, which is not out yet, and because it's a year late. And then you see the cast from Scream, and all that they have little tiny ones, and then mine, like the nobody, is like it was so embarrassing.
Well, it's like AIP. Why are there lobby cards? You have the big cell. They have all the art all over, and 20th Century Fox is just
But
white.
you had told me that everyone had the exact same thing, so it was embarrassing. And it was so big that it had a picture of me on it that was life size.
Oh, right on.
You have to go to the one of the Living Dead ones in Monroeville because every zombie has their own sign like that, and it's like named for what zombie they are. I'm Screwdriver Zombie. I'm Helicopter Zombie.
I remember
I was on screen for 5 seconds in the
I
original
remember
Night of
the
the Living
nurse.
Dead. Here I
Yes,
am.
you introduced it.
the
Yeah.
nurse zombie. Everyone dies
I think it's
wearing their costume of what they did. They're defined by like
She died at work. She was a nurse.
Whatever you do not fall asleep with the menu of Dawn of the Dead with the gong playing. Because you will hear it in your dreams, you will not want to get up. That gong will haunt you forever. That's my gong.
The gong is the theme song.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, let's do the drink segment, shall we?
Okay, yeah. Okay. So what do we do?
No, nothing. You don't have to do anything. I'm just going to play this
Okay.
from Sam Panico.
There's a place off Ocean Avenue where I used to sit and talk with you.
Do you think that Yellow Card song's about Amityville Horror?
Yes.
I do. Welcome to the first drink recipe. We're doing the Ocean Avenue lemonade. This would be a lemonade maybe you'd serve for a birthday party, or when you're awkwardly moving into your house with your 4 kids and wife that hate you. You would yell at her to make it, though. You would never make this yourself. Anyway, pretty simple drink. Ounce of rum, ounce of Absolute Citron, half an ounce of Blue Curacao, about 6 ounces of lemonade, and just a little bit of orange bitters to top it off. It's really simple to make. I mean,
All that goes in a shaker.
just put it all in your shaker.
Oh, do you have a cup?
Oh, no, I don't
No,
have a
you
cup.
don't. Unprepared.
I'm prepared. I'm fired. Let's go into the cup library, as we call it, or
Well, we have too many cups.
cupboard. Oh, which one?
Be your Severin.
Yeah, exactly. Which one would I pick? Anyway, if there's anything I've learned, making sure that your seal is good.
Especially when using blue.
Yeah.
That sounds sizzly.
Sounds super sizzly.
Oh,
What was that?
never a tight seal.
Restaurant pour? Look at that.
Look at that Drano.
Yeah, for God's sake, get out of the glass and into my stomach. Man, I am very excited
It's very
about it.
pretty.
Very excited.
There's one thing.
Very looks of mouthwash.
It does. I like to drink Scope. As a kid, I'd say, I'm going to grow up and drink Scope. Pazuzu to everybody. Enjoy.
Pazuzu to all of you, and especially
That is a nice
a big thank you to our guests tonight, Joe Zaso and Bryan Thomas.
I have to tell Joe sent these lovely care packages to us filled with candy and all sorts of treats.
He
And
made
Bryan
them
too.
in the package.
Yes. And there is here's what just happened during the break. You guys weren't here to see it. There's little bugs and stuff in here. One of my cats took one of the bugs out of the bag and had been playing with it. My wife found the bug, which was about this big, and on its back, and thought that it had somehow gotten our house, and it was a real bug that big. And she waited until it went to mute here and started screaming for me to run and help her.
Guess what? I do the same.
Those are real medieval flies.
I can't tell reality from fantasy.
I put these little bags together, but I thought it was obvious they were Jody the pig from Amityville, and people
yeah, definitely
Peppa Pig. No, it's like an epic fail. So
no, there's so much cool stuff in here, so I really appreciate it.
Did you open up your card, by the way?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and do you have anything to tell us?
Well, I'm going to donate $5,000 to Sarah McLaughlin's pets that she keeps chained outside.
Everyone out there, I put one of those fake lotto tickets in there. I've never met him before, so thank God he had a sense of humor.
I was one thing at first. I said, "What did he send you?" I was like,
"Oh, I thought you did that, Joe."
No, Joe did nothing. Joe went to the post office.
I
do have one thing to say that's important, because we got a lot of people from the Facebook group that we made. I know it's delayed, no excuse, but August 10th, 22, I had a very, very minor routine surgery, supposed to be 24 hours, and I ended up losing a year of my life, being very, very sick. And I'm still recovering from that. So that was just a year in bed. So it's, hey, the movies are always going to be there. So, it's not like,
This is
it'll happen when it happens.
You guys sent some awesome photos too.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You're welcome. Enjoy.
That's a Martha.
Oh,
yeah.
That's my favorite.
Oh my gosh. And this is Point Pleasant, whatever. That's Amityville II. Yeah, that's a very rare one. Yeah. Oh, she's so hot. My God, I wanted to fuck her. Wow. That is hilarious. That looks like you bought it at Spirit Halloween.
Exactly. Oh, someone's here. He wants to say, "Hi, Ringo." He just comes in.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you're not on camera. Oh, there you go.
There's Ringo.
Hi, Ringo.
He wants to. Oh, there he goes. He wants to. He doesn't want me to look at you.
Daniel, to meet them before they're all shot.
Love her.
My friend Justin said, "I write cookbooks as well as Cafe Himbo, and she's in all my cookbooks. She gives recipes, not scary recipes, just as Rotanya." So we love you, Rotanya.
Well, thank you so much, guys. And thanks for being on the show tonight. This has been so much fun so far.
Yes, let's do this every day. No, I've been sort of a prisoner indoors for so long. So I was talking to grown-ups who know horror movies. Hi, guys. You're my best friends. So.
Yeah. That's why we do it, because it started with Bill and I would just watch movies on Saturdays and mostly just text each other into the night. And we're like, we should just start doing this and having other people join us.
We used to call those indoor kids.
Yeah.
It was unfashionable at one point. Now it's
soccer. The Martian. Grandma's mom. Critters 3.
Saturday was movie watching day.
Saturdays were just nonstop movie watching, and my mom would force me outside, and I went and hid in a treehouse and read Fangoria, and she was like, "Shouldn't be reading right now? You're outside. Go play with kids." I'm like, "What's the new issue?"
R-rated movies an issue for you, or your family was okay with them?
They were pretty good. It took a certain movie to get them very upset, but most of the time they were pretty cool. The really hard R movies, like I know. Dressed to Kill, my first experience with it was in Mad Magazine and not the actual movie. Like I would read them in Mad, and then when I would see them on HBO later, be like, "Oh, that's the movie I was reading about."
It's weird looking back on it. Any kind of violence was okay, but boobs, like a pair of boobs in Halloween 2, you're not going to see that. It's like anything sexual.
That was the same way with my family too, and like now, if they could have it back, they would probably send me to see the boobs.
Yeah. we had
That wouldn't have worked.
it was the movie theaters were merciless. You couldn't get into an R-rated movie unless you were of age or you had an adult with you. But we would try the old switcheroo game where you buy tickets for Arthur and then you go to see Halloween 2, and it was always ruined by flashlight patrolling ushers. So I saw Arthur 7 times that summer, all failed to make it through Halloween 2.
Yeah. Now Disney Channel is the same level of, it's like anything goes these days.
Yeah.
I'm not on brand with the cocktail, by the way. I made a vanilla Coke, which was vanilla vodka with regular Coke poured in, but I poured like a Joan Crawford level shot of vodka in there. So, wow, maybe we should cut to the
You know
movie.
what? I figured you know where to find the boys and the booze.
Chadwick has an impeccable reputation.
It's like, this is wonderful! Bryan, you are looking great, minus all the shot by mob scars. Oh, yes. Yeah. My sister-in-law. Yes. Oh, those are people that I haven't seen in years. So, yes.
Horror brings everyone together. I've always felt that.
Yeah. So, but rest in peace, Bert. I can't believe it. It's so sad that some of the people I really wanted to see this book have just died. Martha De Laurentiis. It was, because she's so huge now, and the fact that she was taking the time and sending people to me and then calling to see how the book is going, and she's like, do you need me to get anyone for you? And the only one person I was having a hard time with was Tess Harper, who's in part 3. And her agent actually pulled some bullshit like, yeah, well, Tess had a death in the family or whatever. So I remember telling Martha that. She's like, what? Hold on. Get me Tess Harper on the phone right now. I mean, that was Martha. Like, why wouldn't she want to talk about this movie?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
It was nice. She was so proud. So
there's one publicity shot from Amityville 3. I don't know if you may even have it, but it's where Tony Roberts is holding her, and Tess looks like she's grinning, like she's like it's an outtake or something. She's like, oh geez, like let's get this over with. Maybe that was her attitude. Who knows?
Right? Did you guys even know who Tess Harper is? I mean, she was legit at the time. Yeah,
they're all like us.
I avoided Amityville 2 way too long as well.
Yeah.
I should have been more on board with that because now I love it. I love 2. I love 3. Still don't love 1, but maybe one of these days.
I didn't like Amityville 2, but it left me. I felt dirty. I needed a cigarette and a shower.
Yeah.
Now I can appreciate it for some crazy stuff. So
only one shot spooks me out in the first Amityville, and it's nothing. It's a nothing shot. When the family in the very beginning, when the family's put into the the corpses are put in the hearse. And it slams shut. It's dead silence. They're all reunited. That's just still this thing. They're all in the car together
at the beginning. And the camera's in the car, and he shuts the door. And I get more people contacting me saying, "Is that George Lutz in a cameo as the guy closing the door?" And it's not.
No.
So
but it was a spooky moment. But yeah, but that's the only
Leaf, I think you're beautiful, but that icon is just smoking. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, Leaf. And all of you who came to hang out tonight. Do you guys want to get to the movie? Are you coming back afterwards, or is this all we get of you?
This is probably all you get. All you can eat on the next movie, so.
All right, well then maybe we shouldn't touch it right away.
Wait,
I want to ask you a question, and since you're not coming back, I know that I've read, and I agree with you that most 99% of every Amityville movie after the TV movie is not good. Are there any that you like? Maybe the Canadian ones, like It's About Time or Next Generation?
Pepper.
I wasn't that little direct-to-video wave they had for a while. I wasn't crazy about them, but here's something though. I refuse to give any voice to that mockery now, where people actually regular people starting to use the word franchise, and just because some asshole comes out with a camcorder movie called Amityville Dildo, they think that they need to buy it because it's part of a franchise. It's not. It's an amateur movie. You can't copyright the word Amityville. So So now they just make up shit and put the word Amityville. So I don't include them. I said, the poor James Brolin. These people interviewed him, and they said, "Do you know that your movie has 22 sequels now, Amityville in Space?" And he believed it. It's like, no, it's so. But even Fangoria magazine this year they had a cheeky category for the Chainsaw Awards called Best Amityville Film. I think it was like Amityville Christmas Vacation one or something.
One of our friends is in that one actually.
Really?
Yeah, and it's not bad. It actually understands what it is. It's not a cash in or anything. It's just kind of goofy, but yeah.
Yeah. So I know you know what we could do? We could distribute this podcast. Call it like Amityville Podcast Massacre, and literally we would be part. Yeah. So it's not, the others aren't canon. So
our production values are a little higher compared to some of Amityville Karen and some of the other ones that I've seen.
So the Amityville Awakening, the one with Jennifer Jason Leigh that kept getting pushed back and back. I mean, that was a legit one with the budget. And Frank Calhoun, a friend of mine, hooked me up with Frank Calhoun, the director, and his stories on that are just heartbreaking. And he said you can print all of this, but just what he went through, mainly because of Harvey Weinstein, and it would make you never want to direct a movie again. But the stories on that one are unbelievable. They ended up shooting so much, this girl, influencer actress named Bella Thorne. They was shooting it 2 years later, so she's walking down the hall, and then she turns and enters a room, and now she has tits. That's what he said, because she was puberty.
You're right. Yeah, right.
How did that happen? So anyway, yes, that movie. That's a great variety headline. Amityville Awakening grosses $732. I was thinking it's opening weekend.
Legitimate for a theatrical. Long Island, there's a company called Amityville Dental, and it's dental's off. I die laughing because it sounds just like any sequel. It's like evil takes a bite.
I know you think, I know it's bullshit, but if the house was abandoned, would you do a seance Ouija board with me in the basement, or might you be too scared?
I wouldn't be scared. I mean, I'd be afraid of someone coming in and telling us to get the hell out or we're going to jail.
Get out. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Knock the glass off the table.
I'll do it.
Let's do it. Hell, there's people living in there now, but knock on the door. Excuse me, we're going downstairs in your basement. So
they will not welcome us inside, I guarantee you.
Well, here, I'm thinking about opening up the book with this little bit of business here. The Amityville house sold for less than the price of a studio apartment here in the Greenwich Village.
The only thing terrifying about Amityville house is the taxes. I mean, unbelievable. But yeah, it's true. Unreal.
So,
where some woman said she was, I don't know about the horror, but inside it's gorgeous.
Oh yeah, Sam's making a movie called Amityville Dollar General.
Yeah, it's about the Dollar General in that town that's cursed. And it's killed all the mom and pop stores. So everything in there that people buy kills them.
Yeah. One thing I did learn though is we might hate Amityville, but people from other countries, the window is as iconic as Freddy's glove, as Jason's hockey mask. The Amityville window, everyone knows what it is. So it's never gonna go away. So I don't know. And everyone's dying. I got to get this book out. So hurry. Type faster, Joe. Yes.
So we hope to see it available for purchase very soon. And we thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us on the program tonight.
And don't forget to get Joe's movie from Terrorvision.
Please do.
Yes.
Guys. Wait, I'm on your show every week now, though, right?
Well, if you're going to be here, then yeah.
I go to the opening of a door.
He gets to pick the movies.
Well, thank you very much for having us. It was so nice to talk to grown-ups, and thank you for talking about Amityville. And I promise everyone the book is coming, and it's just
we're gonna hold you to that.
Pittsburgh. Yeah, we do. I do love this.
I've never been, so I've never been.
One note, when I first went to Pittsburgh the first time, it's smaller than I thought. It looked so much bigger on film. But I got there, I was like, everything just seemed, maybe because they shoot everything from low angles, but I was like, it looks downtown, Shady Side, all those places. It just looked like, why is it so huge on film? Unless we just use very large
It's
lenses.
very ordinary.
Down there,
looking.
like
Yeah.
when you like drink and drink. What am I, 19?
Have
Like,
pizza.
Yeah.
I love the pizza.
There are literally like 60 different kinds of pizza. There's even a place here that puts a pound of cold cheese on each slice. They make the pizza hot and then put cold cheese onto it, which is a very acquired taste. Again, people will fight you over the pizza. Which pizza's better?
Funny. Oh, come on. We live in New York. Really?
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Ooh, I'll smack that dick right out of that
Italians
mouth.
are there.
I do want to go to the Monroeville Mall. I don't know if he's a friend of yours, but he's a hard guy, Matt Blasi. He's like all things Pittsburgh. He knows everything, but I'm sure he's on your team there too. But there's so many wonderful people here from our Amityville group on Facebook, the book group. Thank you so much.
I'm saying hello to you all. I see all your names, guys. We love
They're
you.
talking to me.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we
Enjoy
hope
the movie. Enjoy the movie, and we should talk afterwards and tell me what you notice. Hey, listen, this is an amazing shot that everyone talks about, where Sonny is like at the gun and the camera comes up behind him and swoops over and does this twisty thing that comes down. And if you really pay attention, as it's coming down, you'll see a crew member's feet in the left-hand corner as they slowly get out of the way. And that's a nice little blooper there.
As the Italians say, we only shoot the one.
We only shoot the one. You're rolling down there, thing right on fire, you'll go into the lake. We shoot the ones.
we hope you'll come back afterwards, all of you in the chat, and talk some more Amityville with us. The link is on Groovy Doom. It's on YouTube. You can watch the whole movie on YouTube, or I think it's on Tubi.
It is also on Tubi. Yep.
Okay.
All right. And we hope to see you afterwards. Thanks again. Bryan, Thomas, Norton.
Very nice to meet you. Hello, new best friends.
All right.
You have dental? All right. Bye-bye. Enjoy the movie, everybody.